Hi everyone, no Dazzling Dave today, so we're standing in on the Always Wolves duty. I'm joined by Michael Ballack. Let's start at the beginning of the match. Sum up the first half an hour or so prior to the red card.
Well, it's difficult to know where to start really, because just it didn't seem like we played. You know, I mean, like there was nothing. You know, obviously Luton, I think, were always going to come on to us. You know, it was like their second home game. You know, and they've probably targeted us as well, a fixture that, you know, maybe they could get a win against and get some points against. You know, and it's like we never really got out of our half. You know, which was quite disappointing. You'd have thought that although the pitch is tight, we'd at least kind of got the pitch a little bit and maybe got some like at least promising situations, but we just had nothing.
Yeah, there was nothing to write home about in that first half an hour. I think we always expected that they would come at us, and you don't understand football if you didn't think that was going to happen. As you said, you know, Luton are going to probably target us as a game that they could get 3 points from. And then perhaps we were probably getting a bit of a foot into the game, having ridden out a bit of a storm. They hit the top of the post, didn't they, with a decent long range shot. Generally, there was quite a few crosses coming into the box without clear-cut chances. But then there was the red card incident, wasn't there?
Yeah, and I mean, like, you know, I mean, we had a decent view of it from where we sat, and you know, it was clear that kind of, you know, Tom Lockyer knew exactly what he was doing. You know, he was holding on to Bellegarde, stopping him, getting up and joining the attack. Don't get me wrong, Bellegarde, you know, did obviously, it looked like he'd reacted, and you can't do that, and it was a bit naive really, because as soon as he's done that, and it's, I mean, when you look on Twitter, it's debatable whether apparently the ref's seen it or not, but in any case, when the kind of the crowd react like that, and the ref's kind of walking towards him, you know it's only going to end one way, and VAR are never going to turn that over. I think what's disappointing, just, you know, kind of looking at Tom Lockyer as a whole, is that, you know, he was always in the ref's ear like all the way through the game, and you know, I think that just highlighted how we don't do that as much. Like, we don't have any players anymore that are cute and we'll go and have a little word with the ref and go and make sure that, you know, he's seen something the opposite team's done or whatever. And you just felt like, you know, Lockyer and the ref were almost like best mates. You know, and you know, I'm not necessarily, you know, kind of castigating for that. I just think we could be better really, and we could have someone that kind of tries to play those kind of games as well, because, you know, he was never going to get overturned.
Yeah, and perhaps in general we are a bit passive as a team and happy just to accept things rather than challenge them. Perhaps Lockyer should have also received some punishment for his role in that. I'm not saying that he should have been sent off, but if you're holding a player on the ground and stopping him from getting up, and also made a foul in the first place to stop the break, you probably deserve a yellow card. But anyway, we got through till half time, which was important to keep a clean sheet. They've been in short supply for us, especially on the road.
Definitely. And
then 10 minutes into the second half, we took the lead.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just a bit of magic by Neto. Obviously been, you know, by far our best player this season, you know, so far, and you know, just the sheer determination that he showed just to get on the end of that ball, you know, get around Lockyer, and I mean, just the finish was just obviously, it was fantastic. So that was obviously a nice moment, because, you know, after Bellegarde got sent off, you really didn't think, you know, we'd be probably getting chances and even scoring a goal. We thought 0-0 was probably our best chance. So that was a nice moment in the game for, you know, for what had been really disappointing up to that point.
Yeah, it's nice to see a moment of individual brilliance, because we know that can win games, and we probably haven't seen that enough over the years from various players. He's definitely back to his old self now, so he's on 4 assists, and that's the kind of goal that we know he can score, cutting inside, powerfully, direct. I've got high hopes for him for the rest of the season. Yeah,
hopefully he can do that a bit more, you know, and then I think after that we then, you know, weathered the storm. Like, O'Neill obviously changed the shape, put 3 at the back, you know, which I think we looked quite comfortable with really. And you know, although Luton had a lot of possession and put a lot of crosses into the box, Sarr never really had a lot of stuff to do insofar as like shots, and then that was what was really disappointing when the penalty got given away, and even from where we were sat, you know, it looked like the ball deflected off, you know, Gomez's leg onto his hand, which, you know, my interpretation of the rule is, if that happens, then it's not a penalty. And you're looking at the reaction on like Twitter after the game, and everyone's in agreement. Gary Lineker, Mike Dean, and Sky Sports Studio, you know, and it's just like another example of a decision that, you know, doesn't go our way again, and we'll probably get another apology, and you know, hopefully at the end of the season we can add those apologies up, and then, you know, we can have maybe 10 points, because that would be quite nice.
Yeah, so from that point after the penalty, obviously it was going to be hard for us to create anything, and we never looked like pinching another goal on the break. What we did manage to do, however, is repel a lot of those crosses that did come into the box, particularly down their left-hand side.
Yeah.
So I think in the circumstances, a lot of credit is warranted for people like Sarr, the back five, the lads in midfield, because we've managed to dig out some kind of result from a difficult situation.
I think also to Gary O'Neill for obviously getting us sorted at half time, changing the shape, making some personnel changes, and making us more resolute in the second half. And we looked a lot more. Ironically, we looked a lot more solid with the 10 men. In that shape that he was playing.
Yeah, and for me that gives food for thought for the next, not just against Man City, but the next few games after that.
Definitely.
I think there is a chance we could perhaps see that 3-4-3 or 3-5-2 formation with Totti Gomez coming into that left-hand side of the back three, because I think he made a difference when he came on today.
LEAMORE, man of the match then, please.
Yeah, LEAMORE, Windows, man of the match. You can obviously single out Pedro Neto because of his brilliance on the break that nearly got us the win. I think mentions as well for perhaps Craig Dawson and Max Gilman, although not had the easiest game. They did clear an awful lot of crosses that came into our box, so credit to those two. But for me, the man of the match probably is Mario Lemina. I think he's covered every blade of grass. In the first half, he was the one player for me that really stood out on our team. He seemed to break up everything, so he would be my man of the match for us. And it's hard to give an accurate performance rating because it just has to be in the circumstances that we found ourselves in. I think prior to the red card, it probably couldn't be higher than a 4. We did nothing going forwards, and we looked like we were going to concede. And after that, it probably deserves a 6 for the way that they dug in and managed to grind out a draw. So that's where I stand on that. How about you?
Yeah, I think I'd agree. Like the first half was just almost not registering in terms of performance level. But based on how we played the second half and being more resolute, so probably like a 5.5 really. I think man of the match wise, yeah, Lemina definitely. I can't really argue there, but I'd probably say Neto for me. I think he played really well. He showed massive determination all through the game. Never stopped running. Even at 10 men, he was like, I'm not giving up loose balls, and I'm going to put these defenders under pressure. So for me, I think you'd go, you wouldn't go far wrong with Neto as man of the match.
Brilliant. So Man City at home, Aston Villa at home. Next away day is Bournemouth, so we'll probably see you there for that one.
Yeah.
Always
Wolves.
Cheers.